We have distractions at our fingertips, and every time we receive a notification that chimes on our cell phone, we are conditioned to respond by picking up our cell phone, checking the notification, which gives us a hit or a spike of dopamine, and then that spike of dopamine drops down below our baseline when we put the phone back in our pocket. So now we feel a bit of craving, and that craving is experienced as pain as we await in anticipation of the next notification of a message from our friend, from a text. Because we're constantly desiring a stimulus reward or stimulus response, because we've been conditioned over time with these social medias and digital technology and cell phones, we can't stand to be bored. We can't stand being outside of the stimulus response conditioning. So we'll check social media compulsively. And this is how cell phone and smartphone addictions develop, social media addictions. We check the smartphone because we have a drop in our baseline level of dopamine, and every time we go on social media or check a Facebook reel or a YouTube short or a new meme, these stimuli are micro novel experiences. We have novelty in the palm of our hands. At any given moment, we can go into our apps on our phone and find new novel stimuli, new novel content that we haven't experienced before, and this gives us slight spikes in our dopamine. But after the spike, the initial spike, our dopamine drops below baseline, and this results in a craving, and this is how addictive behavior, addictive habit forms. And we become addicted, we become enslaved to the black mirror in the palm of our hands. So how do we break this cycle? Well, I'm going to tell you how we break this cycle. The more distance and the more time we put in between stimulus, which is the cell phone, the social media, the notification, the chime, the ding, and the response, which is checking our phone, the behavior, responding to a text message, checking our emails, checking our notifications, looking up a YouTube short, the more distance we put in between the stimulus and the response, the more freedom we have. Because dopamine is responsible not just for pleasure, not just for drive and for motivation, but for learning the behavior in between stimulus and response. And dopamine reinforces that behavior over time. And generally, we're supposed to be putting effort into our new learned behaviors, like going out and forming a relationship, or foraging for food, hunting, finding resources, water, shelter, finding a mate. These are things that require effort, dedication, time. And sometimes, and a lot of the times, we're not successful, especially in our evolutionary past. But now we have these social media platforms and digital short-form content that hijacks our dopamine reward system and supplants our evolutionary mechanism to put in the hard work to achieve that release of dopamine. So we're hacking our dopamine reward system, and this is creating all kinds of problems for the current generation, the next generation, and society at large. We're weakening our physical and mental cognitive faculties because we're not putting in the effort in between stimulus and response. We're not putting in the effort to attain a reward. We have dopamine at our fingertips. And it's no different than a substance use disorder or an alcohol addiction. It's addiction all the same. It all runs through the learned behavior, which is reinforced through dopamine. And dopamine primes our neural circuits to learn and to absorb novel stimuli. And this is why social media, memes, cell phones are such a threat to the future of mankind currently. So I hope this video finds you well. Give me a like and subscribe, and check out this one for more.